What is a midlife crisis? At midlife, many people feel different and they just know that something isn't right, but they're not quite sure what it is. Some feel if they could just change that one thing that's holding them back, they'd feel okay again. But the trouble is, they can't quite put their finger on what that one thing is. And even if they could identify it, they're not sure how it needs to change, if it's definitely the right thing to change, and how to ensure that this one change isn't going to have a catastrophic effect on their life, their career, their relationship, their finances, or their family. Now, if this sounds familiar, you're not alone. Many people in midlife feel trapped. They feel lost and stuck in a life that lacks meaning and purpose. Passion and joy seem to be at an all-time low, and people hardly recognise themselves asking, is this all there is? And how did I get here? Many people feel like they've failed somehow, they've underachieved, they should be more, they should have done more, despite their life looking really good to the outside world. So is this a midlife crisis? Well, a midlife crisis is more than a list of symptoms. It's a crisis of identity. It's an existential piece, an existential crisis. That is one that threatens our very existence, our very identity. In the Midlife Crisis Handbook, I describe this as a psychologically challenging time when you're unsure who you are or even who you want to be. A time when the life you're living no longer feels like a good fit for the person that you are. If anything, it's just a complete misfit. And this is because as we age, we change. Our experiences change us and our needs and values evolve. But our roles, the parts that we play in life, such as being a professional or a partner or a friend, parent, fixer, achiever or a listener, and how we're supposed to live in the world, which is our scripts, they often stay frozen in the past. So we find ourselves living on old instructions we inherited or adopted earlier on in life, and we've outgrown them. And this creates an urge, sometimes it's uncomfortable, sometimes it's liberating, to update our lives so that they finally align with who we are now. Now, midlife crisis is often the friction point where we realise I can perform this role, but it no longer expresses me. And that's the moment we start choosing new roles that finally fit who we are now. And this is the disconnect that so many of us feel. This is the source of those lost feelings. Your life no longer resonates with you and your body seems to know it and has become anxious or sluggish or bored or reluctant to move. Life needs to change, it needs to update. But of course, not everyone is invested in you changing. Our spouses, our friends, our work colleagues, our kids, sometimes they quite like us as we are, and that change can cause friction and upset. My videos will show you how through self-awareness and choices you can realign your life with the person you are now and begin living again. So if this resonates, subscribe for my weekly videos, and why not start with my midlife quiz, which will tell you where you are in your midlife transition. You can find it at midlife.co.uk.